welcome to MineHub Movies. What you see here is basically a 50 pixel 10 by 5 pixels screen, and it's cycling through about 50 frames, and I believe it's running at 2 frames per second. So quite a bit of memory actually, if you think about it. With 50 pixels and about 50 frames, you're looking at about 2.3 megabytes, if my math is right. Actually, I think that math is based on 48 frames, but regardless, it's pretty effective, as you can see. And actually, the computer that I'm running on right now is really slow and weak. So actually, it's pretty lag free, and it's not as complicated as you might think. I mean, you're probably right now expecting, oh, as soon as we look behind this wall, you're gonna see like miles of redstone and everything, but you really don't. Really, it's just a little part right here. Here's the basic design. You have a rotating barrel right here of information, and the information is stored in binary format by using glass and wool, or it doesn't have to be glass and wool, but it does have to be transparent and non-transparent blocks. The idea is that the transparent blocks do not conduct electricity, and the ones that are not transparent do. So as you can see right now, loaded on this line right here is a wool block, which does conduct electricity and sends a signal to turn on a pixel. If we are on another one, say this one right here, which is sending a signal through this glass block, no electricity is conducted and the pixel is not illuminated. So it's very effective, and there are quite a few variations you can use on this. As you can see, I have kind of a unique reader setup here. Instead of, and let me get rid of the chat, instead of having all the readers in one line, I kind of went with a more intuitive setup to where one vertical row of pixels is one slanted row here of readers. So the bottom pixel all the way in this corner would be down here. The one right above it is here, right above it, so on and so forth. And then this is the second column, the third column, the fourth, and so on. So it gets pretty easy actually to draw out what you want the screen to look like by using these pixels. And as you can see, right now on the screen, one bar is displayed. So I'll show you what that looks like back here on the pixels. If you look, one black bar, and don't pay much attention to the black bar because remember, these readers are on different levels, but what you do want to pay attention to is what blocks are currently loaded in the reader. So right now, this block is clear, this one's solid, clear, clear, clear. So the second row of pixels on this column is going to be illuminated. Same thing for this column. The second row is the only one illuminated, and so on and so forth. So that's why the picture is what it is on the screen right now. So that's the basics of how this works, and now I'll go into a little bit more of the mechanics. So in case you want to make variations, you can do that. Now, the current dimensions are about as big as you can get. Well, they are as big as you can get while making a square like this, and a square is obviously the simplest piston configuration, because what you can do is, if you want to add more frames, which is basically more memory, you can create kind of a snaking pattern of your memory blocks, and that allows you a greater amount of memory, but it also really adds to the amount of pistons and can really decrease the performance overall. So I've kind of gone with a good balance of lots of pixels and lots of memory. If I went any more than this, I would have to incorporate some kind of a snaking pattern, which means that I would need more than just these 4 rows of pistons. And when you have more than 4 rows of pistons, you have, like, let's say I have 6 rows of pistons. Well, then I've just increased the demands on the system by 50%. So it gets kind of cumbersome really fast. So I stick with squares, and you don't even need it to be this big. If you don't need 50 frames, you can go down in frames, or you can repeat the same frame over and over again. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. The important thing with this is that we're trying to cut delays, right? Because anytime you have to send a signal a long way, it creates a delay. And the most important thing is that whenever you're building something like this, you do not use any repeaters that have a delay higher than 1 tick. And the reason is because not only is it sending the delay in 1 tick, in a delay of 1 tick, but it also holds on to the signal for the amount of time that it's set for. Okay, so the important thing is basically to keep all your delays exactly the same. So even though we have to send a signal a long way, on each side the delay is exactly the same. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 repeaters to go up that way, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 repeaters to go that way. And I'm not counting these because they're all the same, matching as well. What happens is the top and bottom, this corner and this corner, extend at the same time, and then when they retract, this corner and this corner extend. And what you end up with is the blocks going around in a circle. And I'll try to show you this, but the frame rate might drop to a little too low for it to be effective, but we'll try it anyway. So let's turn it on, and we'll see if we can see this happening. Okay, now pay attention to this outer ring of blocks, and you can kind of see it happening. What's happening is, even though the pistons don't look right, they are actually working right. So the whole row of blocks just goes round and around in a circle. And if you pay attention to this outer ring, you can see that the signal will be sent through when wool goes through the reader, and no signal gets sent through while glass is going through the reader. So this is how you can create frames, because one row all the way across here will be one frame on the screen. So as soon as these wool blocks get to the reader here, we'll see this output light up. See? And that works really well. That's about all there is to it, and I will upload a schematic of this probably on Planet Minecraft, just a basic version that you can download and play with if you like it. And there are ways to edit it, but I'm not going to download 5 versions of it, so this is what you'll get. And I hope you have fun with it. It's really easy, and it's a lot of fun to play with. It's actually pretty simple. It doesn't take as much time to make a recording as you would think. And it'll just kind of depend on your server's system resources on how crazy you can really get with this. But anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.